Hello everyone, so I'm Valentine Wanjiko from Beyond the Streets, and I'd like to introduce our guest today. So kindly can you tell us your name and your profession?
My name is Keela Lupton, and I am a teacher at an international school here in Nairobi.
Okay, so first question, so what is your profession and how did you begin in your career?
So I am currently a preschool teacher. I'm certified as a teacher to teach pre-kindergarten all the way up to grade 6. So I'm an educator, and I have always loved kids. I think from a very young age, I heard or learned from my parents and my family to find the thing that you love the most, and you never have to work another day in your life. So I discovered for me that was teaching, being with kids, and so I pursued that profession.
Nice. What kind of education skills and requirements does your field need?
I know that teaching requirements are different depending on where you want to teach, but to be certified to teach in America, you have to have an undergraduate degree, a 4-year degree, and then also have an additional certification in education. And then for me, I went on to school and earned my master's degree in education. And I feel like that prepared me for the academic piece of the classroom, but nothing prepares you for becoming a teacher besides teaching and getting real world experience with kids in a classroom. You might think teaching is one thing, and then you get into a classroom of 30 or 50, preschool children, and it's another. You end up realizing you're not just a teacher, you're a counselor, you're an advisor, you're a nurse, you're a social worker, you are a mom. You take on so many roles, and I think if you go to school for education and you've never been in a classroom before, you might regret the profession because it's so different to be in the classroom. So I started in the classroom and wanted to get the education so that I could keep teaching. I think that's the best place to start, is just volunteering in a classroom to see if it's something you're interested in.
Okay. So actually my other question would have been your main responsibilities as a teacher, but I think you've given quite a few. There's no main responsibility, it's just a variety of things that you find yourself being responsible for.
I think there's sort of two pieces of it. You have the curriculum piece and the academic piece that you want kids to take away, but then there's the piece of it that's not on paper. It's just the investment in another child or human being's life, right? And that's the part that I think is the most rewarding, because you have the academic piece and you want them to learn the content, but you can't do that unless you have a relationship with them. So I think that's the piece of it that I think is the most fun, because every year you start over with a new group of personalities, and you never know what you're going to get, and that's the part that kind of keeps you growing and stretching. It's never a profession that gets tired or old. It's new every day.
Okay. And what challenges do you face in your line of work?
I think being a teacher, one of the biggest challenges is, at least at an international school, you have children who come from so many different backgrounds, and it might be a different background than yours, and I think it's really, really important to bring that into the classroom. I always feel a really big burden, I think, at an international school, wanting to make sure that all children are represented and included. And I think when you teach in an international school, that is, I think you're celebrating holidays every week, right? Because you want to make sure that all of the nationalities are represented and embraced. And I also think that if you're not in an international school, you still have the greatest challenge is just the relationship building with the students and making sure that happens and balancing that with the content. because you can't teach anything if you don't have a relationship with the kids. So that's the most important piece.
Okay. Kindly share with us your achievements in this field.
So that's a good question, because I feel like with teaching, the greatest achievements, you'd have to ask my students. You know, they would be able to answer that for you. But I think the thing that I'm the most proud of in teaching is that I've really gotten to teach so many different kinds of students, and people from so many different backgrounds, because they've taught me a lot about who I want to be as a woman, who I want to be as a mom, as a wife, as a student myself. And I also feel like, you know, in teaching and in education, you are never finished. There's always more to do. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of having a profession that I enjoy going to. It's not boring, right? Every single day is different. And every single day you have an opportunity to rise to the occasion and try something new.
Okay. How does your work interfere with your lifestyle?
I would say the biggest sort of challenge that I have is that, you know, I'm a mom, I have 2 small kids, I have a husband, and for us, we live here in Nairobi. We are not from Nairobi, so I think that the biggest challenge with balancing work and life is making sure that you're fairly giving time to each of those areas of your life, so that they all feel included and seen, and you want to do it all well. You want to represent in the classroom. You care about those students, and you also care about your family at home.
Mom, wife. Do you feel fulfilled in this field, and what gives you the fulfillment?
Yes. I mean, like, can you see it on my face? Teaching has always been my passion. I think this is the kind of career that if you love people, if you care about children and their futures, you have such a unique opportunity as a teacher to invest in the lives of other people. And I think anytime you are serving other people, there's a lot of service industry professions. When you take care of people, you know, you have a profession where people come to you and they want to learn from you, but they also just want time, you know, and they want that investment. So I think it's an opportunity to just see people, and that's fulfilling. Yeah.
Okay. What is your typical day like at your work?
There is no typical day.
Oh yeah.
I think every day is unique and different. The only constants are that it's never boring, right? You come to work. I love that I have a profession where I really like my peers and my coworkers. I think everyone is really driven, but we have fun. We have a lot of fun. It's really important for me to spend time with people in every part of the school, not just my own team. So a typical day for me just looks like not sitting down, engaging highly with students and peers, and if I go home at the end of the day and I'm tired, it was a successful day. Yeah, no 2 days are the same, and it's not a boring profession.
What advice would you give the youth considering joining this profession?
I alluded to it a little bit at the beginning of just spending time around some teachers, spending time in classrooms at different ages that you think you might be interested in. Teaching is a hard profession. It's emotional, it's physical, it is long hours with planning and preparation, and The fun part is sort of like the performance piece, which is in front of your kids and students every day and what you do with them. But I would recommend being in classrooms, not just as a student, but going in and having time just in a classroom to make sure that that's what you're interested in. You might get in there and realize that it's something completely different. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. When not teaching in class, what are you up to?
When I'm not in class, my biggest priority is my faith and my family. So it's really, really important to me to be involved in the communities that I live in. So we're really involved in our church, and we're really involved with our kids and what they do.
Okay. And what do you think is the biggest career challenge in Kenya or Africa at large?
I think that one of the biggest challenges that I've seen is the ability to be able to sort of market yourself or have a space that you can, look for jobs that you're excited about. I think there are a lot of careers and a lot of professions. I don't necessarily know that it's as easy to figure out how to follow that track, right? If you don't have opportunities through schools or mentorship programs to learn about things that you haven't seen, you don't even know it exists, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that one of the biggest challenges is just having access to information, everybody having access to the same information so that everybody has the same opportunities.
Okay. And what do you consider the key to success?
In life, Jesus. Yep.
Amen to that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In 5 years, one of my biggest goals is I think that, once you get into the classroom and you're teaching and you're spending time with kids, it sort of spurs on a love for other things. And for me, that's been writing. Oh. So in 5 years, I hope to have published a children's book. I think that's one of my biggest goals in life. Mm-hmm. And I would love to have achieved that 5 years from now.
Yeah, that's a great achievement, or a lifelong achievement.
Yes, and I think teaching. I always am wanting to reach for a certain kind of book, or at home with my own kids, I'm wanting to read a certain kind of book. And if there's a story that doesn't exist in the world that represents you or your experiences or your family, I think you should be the one to write it. So I feel like my story's not out there yet.
So we should be on the watch out.
Yeah.
For Keela's story.
For my story.
Okay, we will be on the watch out. So thank you very much. That was a first segment. Thank you.
Okay, into our first question. What's your best or worst experience in Kenya?
My best or worst experience in Kenya. Okay, well, I think it has to do with my name because, so my name is Keela, Keela. But the thing is, when I first moved here, people thought, when I was introducing myself and I was saying my name, right, people were saying, oh, Keela, wow, it's a powerful name. That's such a powerful name. And thank you. I really appreciate that. I think it's, and then I started to realize that they were maybe a little confused about what my name was. So I wrote my name down, Keela, and they were like, oh, your name is Keela. And I said, yes, that's what I've been saying. And they said, oh, we thought Keela, like killer. So I was walking around for the first couple of months in Kenya, and people thought my name was Killer, and I was like, maybe gonna hurt people or something like this. So for me, I was like, I need like a big sign or something that says my name so that people could see how it's spelled and know that I'm not dangerous.
Okay. And what do you like most about Kenya?
I love Kenya. This is my favorite place that we've ever lived. We've moved quite a few times, and Kenya, I would say, I like the weather, the people, the food, the culture, like the color, the people, the culture, the people. I think it's people. I think people and the community, the warmth. We've showed up here, and it was the middle of COVID, and we were so warmly welcomed. This is the best place to wait out COVID. I think I would say I can't choose one. The weather, the people, the weather, the people.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I think our viewers will be glad to hear those comments coming from you. So next, what hidden talents do you have?
I dance. I dance. So when I lived in America, we have the National Football League, which is the NFL. Nobody cares about it in Kenya, but in America, it's a big deal. And I was a dancer for one of the NFL teams in Colorado. So I cheered for the Denver Broncos, which again, nobody cares about here. But it's like football's a big deal in America, American football. So
That's nice. I also dance, so probably when you're free, you can do a dance.
we can do a dance video
Yeah,
together.
and go viral.
Yes, yes. And we'll be like, killer. This is awesome.
Okay, if you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for?
3 wishes.
Yeah.
Number 1, I would love to be able to speak every language. Like, just understand and be understood in every language. Wish number 1. Wish number 2. These are hard questions. Like, have your viewers thought, if I had 3 wishes, what would I choose? Okay, wish number 2, I would love to travel to every single country in the world, because if I could speak all the languages, right? And wish number 3, it's crazy to say, but then I think I'd want to eat every food there is to try from every culture, right? Which is impossible to do. Eat an authentic dish from every country that you visit. Those would be my 3 wishes.
Okay, so our next question will relate to your 3rd wish.
Okay.
Which is your favorite Kenyan food?
Ooh. Okay, and this one is also my daughter's, but ugali. Ugali. And I just, I don't think I've totally figured out how to eat it all, and do it with grace, but it is so good.
Oh, nice. So what's the biggest lesson you've learned in your life so far?
I think my biggest life lesson, and I know this is so popular to say, but so hard to do, but it's be kind and stay humble. I think you can achieve a lot of things in life, and you can, and I think not build up any treasure in heaven. I think this life ends, and what you do with your time on this earth matters. And so I think being kind, loving others, having humility, loving God, all of those things, I think are my greatest life lessons up to this point.
Oh, that's nice. What are you most afraid of?
Most afraid of snakes. I mean, snakes.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna pull one out?
Okay.
You were like, I have a surprise for you.
No, not really. I'm also afraid of snakes.
Okay, good. Okay, good. That makes me happy. So we'll have a dance video. No snakes. Ugali. Some street food.
Yeah.
Good.
If you had a superpower, what would you do?
A superpower. Ooh. I would love to fly. I would love to fly. Nairobi traffic, that's one thing you didn't hear me say that I love. Flying. Or maybe learning how to drive a boda boda. That seems like a superpower.
Yeah.
Seriously, weaving the way that, and I'm like, surely he's going to hit someone. And just, like, precision. It's a superpower.
So everyone in life has that one person, a mentor who you look up to. Who has been your biggest influence in your career up to the moment that you are at now?
My biggest influence for my career has been my father. My dad was a university professor, and my dad was raised in America, we call it the projects, which was like a housing development. He was raised in desperate poverty growing up, and he had nothing. And he has stories of his life growing up, which were, he didn't learn how to read until he got to high school. And then when he got to high school, he had a very basic understanding of academics, and he got accepted to play football at a university, and it was the only reason that he went to college. So he was very poorly educated, and I think let down by the education system in our country. But when he got to college, he had a janitor who honestly just invested in him, opened the doors at night so that he had a place to sleep, got him books and started to teach him how to read and how to study, and helped take care of him. And he had my grandmother and my grandfather, but they were very poor, so he needed people in his life and community, other community helpers, to just take him under their wing, and he had that. And then went on to become a professor at a university himself, and he went on to also play in the NFL, the National Football League. So that was sort of something that we always shared. And he always inspired me as a reader, as an educator. I wanted to be like him, and he's been my greatest influence in becoming a teacher. Still.
That's really nice, like father, like daughter, I guess.
Yes. Yes.
That's really cool. So what legacy would you like to leave behind? What would you want people to know you for?
I think the thing that is the most important to me in life is loving God, that I love God more than anything. That's so important to me. I want everyone that I know to I don't know, be better for knowing me. Like, I don't want to make anyone's life worse. I always want to brighten someone's day. I always want to show people that I see them, because God has been so good to me, and I want others to feel and experience that love. So if I can even just give a snippet of that to my community, to my husband, to my kids, to my neighbors, to strangers. If I see you on the street and you say, "Keela," I'll smile at you. But I think spreading that kind of love, just because of my faith, feels like a legacy that would be worth leaving behind.
Yeah, that's really powerful. So that's the end of our today's segment.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Next time, viral video.
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you for your time, and we would love to have you again on our show.
Yes.
And I'm sure that the love you're talking about will spread through the videos, and many youths will get to learn more about the teaching field, what is required of them, and we would love to have you again on our show.
Yes. We need more teachers. We need more good teachers. So
Yeah.
if that's where your heart is, pursue it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
was fun.
That was fun.